Okay, what's up, guys? It's your boys Who 74. We back with another video. This time we are doing another video on the One Piece spoilers. Okay, so we're gonna try this guessing game again because as we went through over the last chapter, 1158, I did get majority of what I predicted based on those previous spoilers wrong. Okay. So now we're gonna go over the spoilers we got for for chapter 1150 for chapter 1159. Okay. Now, the spoilers from that, they seem juicy so far. We're gonna get into them in a minute. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get deep into it. We're gonna discuss. We're gonna smoke. We're gonna theorize, okay? Um, but hopefully I get more right this time than we got last right, okay? So we gonna get into it because I'm trying not to drag this video out too long. I got more stuff to do and I gotta get some type of sleep before I go back into work tonight. Let's see, let's see. I got them on my phone. Yeah, last week I was just completely wrong. But while I'm getting everything ready, y'all already know how we do this. Sit back, relax, kick your feet up, smoke, theorize, and review with me, okay? All right. So flaming up. The first thing we got to discuss and go over in regards to One Piece. Oh, almost forgot. So I do have my new Fungo Pop. This one is a Brainiac. The wife got it for me while she was out shopping. She seen it and she was like, you know what? He gotta have it. She called me and asked me if I had to have it. I'm a big Superman fan. Brainiac, one of his most notable enemies. I had to have it. So shout out to wifey for that. Shout out to the wifey for that. She's a real one, for sure. She a real one. See if I got anything else I want to discuss with you guys. Let me see if I can pull something up on here. Give you guys. That's cool. We're gonna sit here. We're gonna discuss. Okay. So, now starting off with the spoilers for the week, we start off with the Holy Inari Shrine Pilgrimage, which is the Yamato cover story. Okay. We last left off with her finally making it to the destination where she was trying to make it at to return that sword to that grave to pay tribute to the owner of the grave. We find out the owner of that grave is none other than Gecko Moria, or should I say Kozuki Moria, because he's a member of the Kozuki clan. Whether he's adopted or whether he's an actual member, I don't know, but he got the Kozuki last name, okay? Hit bump. That was kind of like the bread and butter of a lot of people's week when it came to that chapter. Next to actually the Harold and Rocks clash, because that was pretty big too. The emotions that was being traded between the two in that scene, it was something to be noted. You feel me? I'm still hashtag Harold a bitch fo, cause he a bitch. He's stupid fo on Chief Shorty. Like Rocks in that fight, you could see how he was hurt for. He doing things like grabbing his face while Harold talking, you feel me? He getting angry. Harold just talking a bunch of bullshit, you feel me, on bro. His whole thing was, oh, I know the government is evil. I know they got their assholes, but they can help me get the results that I'm trying to get faster than what it would take me if I just did it diplomatically myself. So I'm gonna kill you for that, my friend. Like that's technically what it was. If you sum it all up, his whole conclusion and his reasons. Harold a hoe. But so we find out from the cover story, getting back to what we was doing, the spoilers. So the next thing up from the Yamato cover story is she's going back to she's returning to the flower capital. So that's it, that's all. We don't got no details about it. Next, she's going back to the flower capital. So I guess the little mission she had was over. So I wonder what's next. What we gonna see next from Yamato, or are we gonna get any more cover stories with Yamato? Are we moving on to a new cover story? So we'll see that, what happens with that. Check that out when that chapter comes out. All right. Moving on to the next thing. We see 30, it says, okay, I skipped one. So Shaki was kidnapped in Hachinosu and the news shook the world, okay? So she was kidnapped in Hachinosu. Now I'm gonna scroll down to the bottom of these spoilers because we got new updated information from the last time I seen it that goes with this, okay? We find out who the traitor is, Hit Blunt. We find out who the Rock's traitor is and how they pretty much caused, well, they didn't cause the downfall of the crew. Because for the Rock's pirates, God's Valley wasn't about Shaki. It was because she still, Namaka to them. You know, she set up the bomb on the island. They respect her, but it was bigger than that. You feel me? But she was a reason. But the traitor ended up being Wang Ji. Okay, Wang Ji, aka Ochako, was the traitor that kidnapped Shaki. He also ended up killing a certain member of the Rock's pirates. Just to keep everything a little spicy, I'm not gonna let y'all know who's the member of the Rock's pirates he killed. You guys can find that out in the chapter, unless you just want to go look up the spoilers yourself, okay? But definitely, they said he killed a member of the Rock's pirates. He kidnapped Shaki, and it was all for money. The world government offered him money, okay? So let's talk about it for a second. Like, out of all the people you guys expected to be the traitor of the Rock's crew, how many people thought it would have been Ochaku? I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't think it would have been Ochaku simply for the fact that, he stayed and kept over the legacy from Pirate Island and all that after Rock was gone. But really thinking about it, it could make sense. Like, with the gold mine that Hachinosu was and all that in the third, and the leverage that they gave the Rocks pirates as a base in general, with all the dangerous pirates people will have to pass through just to get to them alone. That could be. And then so that was a rich island, and then you hear about the government offering money. So yeah, Wang Ji was a traitor, bro. I could see him taking that deal for money from the world government. Even though I never would have thought it was him in a jump, but thinking about it and looking at everything now, how I passed that up, fo. Like, looking into everything now, how the fuck did I pass that up? Yeah, he was a traitor for sure. Could have been anybody, but I don't know why I thought that he had some type of loyalty to Rocks for the simple fact that he kept on with the island afterwards. But so then we cut to 38 years ago. This when things started getting good. 38 years ago, Garling returned to God's Valley and attacked Shanks and Shamrock's mother because he wanted to take the kids to the Holy Land with him. Shamrock is scum, okay? That man is definitely the worst of the Holy Knights because it's already a big assumption in everybody's mind and also in minds that maybe he is the father of those kids, and the lady with the red hair getting pregnant by him was not willingly. You feel me? It was not her choice to do so. Because we do know the holy knights and the celestial dragons and shit, they all get down like that. I mean, we seen the Kuma backstory. Sorry to say, for anybody that didn't pick up and didn't get it, Bonnie wasn't born from a loving family. Her mother was kidnapped, made a slave, a wife slave to a celestial dragon who had his way with her however he wanted until she got sick and he disposed of her and the baby. Okay? So we know how they get down in One Piece, all right? Now, what I think is Shamrock, whatever is going on with that island, we're gonna get back to that because it's something else in the spoilers that I gotta get through before I could give my full theory on that, okay? But what I will say for now is it's something to do with that island and the lineage of that island and or the people there that Shamrock felt it was necessary for him to breed with a person of that lineage to have kids, which is why he came back here to kill that lady and take them kids with him. He didn't care for her. It was important that he got them kids for that lineage factor, whatever is going on. And as we all know, Shanks is just OP crazy. I mean, he was already doing Rock's special technique, divine departure, by the age, what, a very young age. He was younger than 15 by the time he was throwing that damn move around. Or was he 14 at the time? He was throwing around Kamusaris for a long time, though. You feel me? And that was Roger's most, you feel me, famed technique. And Shanks learned it at a very young age. Shanks at this point is just a hockey thing, bro. Like there's nobody that has hockey feats that outshine any of the minor flexes that Shank does at any moment. I'm sorry, we see all we see from Garp doing the him versus Hachinosu and Kuzan fight, but that still is a glimmer of in all these clashes we seeing with Harold and Rocks, that don't do shit to me the way I see like the simple hockey flexes from Shank. Let alone that commissary he did to motherfucking Kid. Oh my god, don't get me started. Like Shanks, man. And then the things people say about him. What Mihawk say at fucking the war, you feel me, when they was at Marine Ford, the Marine Ford War, when Shank showed up, he said, I agreed to come help you guys fight and kill Whitebeard. Yes. But red hair is a completely different ballpark, is what he said. Shorty, come on now. Kaido was on his way there and didn't show up because red hair got to Kaido first. Kaido, the same Kaido we just spent what 3 years with in Wano. What was it? 3 years of One Piece chapters in Wano. That same Kaido. Come on now. Shanks, bro. But yeah, so they lineage is real good, and we see what the fuck Shamrock got going on. Granted, all we ain't see shit but hit the power of his sword, but I'm assuming he's spicy as hell as well. You feel me, on bro? Now we gonna get back. I'm gonna add more to that. Remember. So moving on, we going to hit blunt, shorty. My fault. I know I've been hogging. That bitch don't went out and everything. Running my goddamn mouth, huh? Huh. But moving on, shorty. We got Dragon was in God's Valley. He was just a Marine soldier at the time. Kuma, Genie, and Ivankov traveled to God's Valley in a slave ship. Young Morgan is leaking Young Morgan is leaking God's Valley's information to Pirate Island. So Morgan is in cahoots. First thing to stand out to me with Pirate Island and Hachinosu, because they don't say he leaking information to you feel me through the news network. They say he leaking information about God's Valley to them. It must be some connection he got with Zebek. Okay, so Dragon, we're gonna see some of Dragon, everybody's favorite deadbeat. This what Dragon famous for. Every time you see Dragon, that's what he doing. Or he might be doing this. Hold on. Luffy wanted poster. But that's what this man famous for. So the most famed man, famous for staring. Everybody, we gonna love to see it though, because I don't think it was ever confirmed that Dragon was a Marine back in the day. But it was a big theory. Big theory. Still a big theory when it comes to Dragon. And yes, he was a Marine. So it might do be like the connections that all these theory people been making. They've been doing a little Japanese research, mythology, and all that. And Akainu and Dragon might have actually been real close friends. Yeah, Akainu and Dragon might have actually been real close friends. But Dragon was definitely a Marine, and he was there. You feel me? He showed up with Garp in them. Let's see. We already knew Kuma, Genie, and Ivankov was slaves there, but I guess we gonna see them actually showing up on the ships. And again, quote, it says young Morgan, not big Morgan. So we're gonna see a young Morgan. Are we gonna see Morgan in his human form? No, was the question. Because I don't know if you guys know, because the information didn't come out in the manga or the anime, but it came out in the SBF that Morgan actually is a Zoan fruit user. So, but he just chooses to stay in his I don't know if that's his humanoid, his hybrid form, or but he just chooses to stay in that form all the time. Which my theory is that whoever he is or whoever he was back in the day is the biggest secret in the world. He want everybody to believe he did. He's better off operating under what he is now, because I guess if people knew who he actually was, he'll be a dead man. Or that's just could be the reason why he just used that bird form to keep up all his messy bullshit. Cause that nigga messy, fo. Morgan messy. He love to be messy, fo. He messier than you feel me, than the messiest bitch, fo. Now I'm gonna say he messier than the messiest nigga, cause these niggas messier than these bitches nowadays on phone. So big news, Morgan messy. Let's see. Moving on to the next thing though. So we see Heralds and Rocks actually meet again. And it says when he was on his way to God's Valley, Zebek tells him the reason he wants to go to God Valley. Zebek feared for his family, so he sent them both, Teach and his mom, parentheses, to his homeland, that is God Valley. Okay? Big reveal. Rox D. Zebek's homeland is God Valley. Okay, so we know that has something to do with the with Blackbeard's special lineage that the Gorosei and everybody else be speaking about that they know about now. Whatever the fuck Shamrock discovered at God's Valley when he first showed up, that made him want to force himself upon, assumingly force himself upon this woman to have kids with her, to come back a year later to kill her and try to take the kids. You feel me? Also that led to what's going on, like I said, Rox being so special and powerful himself, and also like I said with the Teach lineage. So Shanks and Blackbeard are both special. They're both special, and it has to do with their lineage from them both coming from God's Valley. Now stay tuned, because we gonna get more into depth about that, because there's more stuff later in these spoilers about that, okay? So just keep going. Shut the fuck up, hit the blunt, and let's keep going. Thank you, baby. And it's good. God, I love that lady. Oh shit. Yeah, that's fine. Ain't no liquor or nothing in that. That's just pure juice she made. Fresh juice. Strawberry, blackberry juice. But like I was saying, so shut the fuck up, hit the blunt, and we gonna keep reading so we can get y'all the rest of these theories. Damn. All right. So Rock's real name is Davy D. Zebek, and he belongs to the Davy clan who lived in secrecy. Zebek's ancestor was Davy Jones, or should I say Davy D. Jones. Then Rox and Harold's fight, but Harold loses on purpose and lets Rox carry on his travel. First thing first, Harold, you a bitch, fool. Why you study fucking with this man? So y'all gotta fight every time y'all cross paths now because you want to get in with the government that bad. To the point where you just had to allow yourself to lose the fight to give the image that you lost to let him go handle his business versus just saying, you know what, fo, as a friend, as what used to be a friend, I hear what you saying and what you got going on. I'm just gonna go ahead and let you do your thing. Go handle your business. You had to actually put on the facade of losing. That's how much of a bitch you is, Harold, bro. Harold gets no respect. I'm sorry. It's Harold. After this flashback, I don't give a fuck what happened to Harold, how he died, bro. You deserve it, bro. You deserve it, bro. Come on now. Harold deserved the way he died. Y'all might not agree with me. It might be unpopular for me to say that, but I think he deserves how he died. From everything from how you operating with rocks just to get good with the fucking government and you know how dirty and corrupt they is to how you just ignored everything that's going on with your son. The whole purpose of getting Elbath, you feel me, in good relations with the entire world. It don't mean no good to you that you already got a good start, you making good relations with people and XYZ and the third. It's been years since the Giant did anything to anybody, so you feel me? You just like, oh no, I want to just use the government because with the government gonna force people to fuck with us. It's technically what you want, but it's such a big thing. Okay, so Davy Jones, we find out Davy Jones was a D, Davy D Jones, and that was a clan of the D, just like you got the Monkey Clan, Monkey D Luffy, Monkey D Garp, Monkey D Dragon. Like you got the Portgas, you feel me, clan, like Portgas D Rouge, Ace Mama, you feel me? You know, um you got the Gold Clan, you feel me? Gold D Rogers, you feel me? I'm assuming was part of the Gold Clan, you feel me, on bro. But yeah, and I can only assume just like everybody else is assuming right now that Davy Jones is would be like a counterpart to Joy Boy, whoever the fuck Joy Boy was. Davy Jones was a counterpart to whoever Joy Boy was. And it said they lived in secrecy. So that means that's a clan, that's a member of the D clan who won remembers their heritage most likely. They remember their background. They remember where they from. They remember every fucking thing about the D, unlike Saul and Luffy and everybody else. Like they said, like Saul said, by the time his parents passed down the D name to him, they had long since forgot the meaning of it and where it came from. And here you got a whole member of the D clan that lived in secrecy this whole time. Why? And then you got the fact that Shamrock, I mean that motherfucking Figureland Garland showed up there, God's Valley, and synced the culture and everything and whatever he said. He was like, "Hey, it's the they culture is interesting. You feel me?" And I found something actually here also that Emu will be interested in. I think that's how Emu got that big ass Joy Boy hat. If that is Joy Boy hat, that's how Emu got it. But 'cause they probably worship that thing now. You feel me on God's Valley, but. Yeah, that's a those are people of the D clan. That's most likely how Rox knew everything about the world government. Rox probably most likely knew Emu was in the motherfucking the flower throne room. He probably knew all of that, which is why he knows what he needs to know about what he need to do to take down the world government and beat Emu as far as the devil fruits he need in the motherfucking Galera, you feel me? The Galila motherfucking giants, you feel me? That's how he knew about all that. And Blackbeard most likely knows and knows a lot too. Cause his plan is so fucking strategic as hell in a way just like Rock's plan. Rock's plan was really strategic as fuck. He just betted on Harold too much, you feel me? Waiting on Harold, thinking Harold was gonna come around, him thinking him and Harold was better than what they was. If Rox was less friendly and more ambitious towards his goals and sinisterly like Blackbeard is, because Rox don't seem like as bad of a person as Blackbeard does. So if Rox was more, you feel me, like Blackbeard and less like Luffy in a way, Rox would have most likely got his goal accomplished or at least have gotten as close as you feel me? Even closer than what Blackbeard and everybody else getting now to theirs, you feel me? Man, that's just crazy. Davy D. Jones. So no wonder that's why he was telling Emu I'm a Davy fan and XYZ in the third. And if Emu know Joy Boy and Davy Jones was around during that time too, then Emu definitely know who the fuck Davy Jones is as well. Like I said, God's Valley got something to do with the D clan, definitely for sure, and definitely for sure just the Void Century, most likely in general. You feel me? That's why Blackbeard is special. That's why Shanks is special because of their lineages or whatever. We're gonna have to get more in depth about what that means though. And yeah, now I think even more that Davy Jones was maybe an inhabitant of rocks. And then when Rocks did whatever the same thing Davy Jones did to inhabit Rock's body, maybe that's what Rocks did with Blackbeard. And yeah, the three soul spirit for Blackbeard still stands with me on bro. It still stands with me. But I gotta find out what was special about Davy Jones that make Rocks and Blackbeard being tied to his lineage so important. You feel me? What makes they lineage and they say Blackbeard got a unique body and all that woo woo woo. Maybe it got something to do. I seen the theory. Somebody said something about Blackbeard's body acting as Davy Jones' locker. And maybe Blackbeard can actually house more than just three souls, an XYZ and a third. I don't know. But that theory does, you feel me? Like bring that back up and let's theorize and look into that more because it got its merits now, you feel me? Because what's special about Blackbeard lineage and his body? Because his lineage is the lineage of Davy Jones. We know that now, okay? So let's move on. It says at the end of the chapter, God's Valley tournament begins. Shocky is the biggest prize of the tournament. Kid, Teach, and his mom are slaves in the tournament too. And then also, Dragon finds Shanks and Shamrock's mom. almost dead and she begs him to save her kids, okay? So we're gonna end the chapter with this, okay? So the tournament gonna start. Shaki is the biggest prize, and we also see that Kid, Teach, and his mom are slaves for the tournament too. So they are members that are supposed to be hunted and killed in that tournament. That's what they are there to do, to be sheep, to be hunt and killed. You feel me? Teach is old enough to walk and run at this time. I'm assuming. I'm hoping he's not a baby still in his mother's arm. He's literally the same age as Shamrock. You feel me? So, Joy Boy Theories. I'm standing on what I said. I still love you, and I still love your channel. But I don't think Blackbeard was born at the time when Rocks was in that bar and everybody was teasing him for his smile. Pregnant probably, but not born yet. You feel me? Definitely not born. But could be. I just know the translation I seen said expecting a father, not saying that's the look of a father. That says the look he's smiling as if he's expecting a child or something. That's what the translations I seen, even in the spoilers. So, but most of these people know how to do Chinese translations better than me, but it just don't make sense when that was you feel when Shanks and Rocks the same, Shanks and Blackbeard the same age, and we see that Shanks was born a year after that incident. You feel me? When they were sitting in the bar having that discussion. That was year 40. Shanks was born year 39. We starting this chapter off with year 38. So I'm speculating Teach still a baby in his mama's arms on phono. Um, let's see what's going on. But yeah, that's it for that. You feel me? And I'm assuming Blackbeard's mom is gonna die. Like literally, she's gonna die, and Rock's gonna die, and that's how Blackbeard gonna be off the fan for itself. You feel me? For them years before he meet up with Whitebeard. That's how he gonna actually get to that snowy island wherever he was at anyway. Some way, somehow he gonna get away from that island. Most likely the same way a lot of people did. You feel me? And however they got away, he gonna end up on that snowy island where people thought he actually came from. Or that might be what his mother is from. Him and his mother both get away, and she dies later on. But Blackbeard was an orphan for a while, so yeah, I think both his parents gonna die during the God's Valley incident here, Blunt. And as far as Dragon coming across a half-dead Shanks mama, we know I guess Dragon the one who put Shanks in that chest that Rogers and them end up finding. So I guess after the incident and everything was done, and after they murked Rocks, you feel me, for whatever reason, cause like that's my whole thing, fo. Like dead ass. If Rock's only reason for going to God's Valley, seriously, bro, was to protect his hometown and save his family, why did that result in Rogers and Garp teaming up to take him down? Like Rogers, did you sell out for you feel me? Like what happened, bro? Like, cause I don't see Rocks going there to just do no stupid shit and cause a scene. Like what went down, bro? That made him going there for that noble reason lead to him being seen as the bad guy and you feel me, motherfuckers like he he died from this and we finding out that he's going there to save his family. He was scared for his family, so he sent them there because he thought it was gonna be safe, but he had no idea Garland had found the place and requested for the tournament to be taking place there. You feel me? So he realized, damn, I sent my family to certain death. You feel me? I gotta go save them. And he on this noble quest, and he get jumped by everybody's favorite pirate and everybody's favorite marine, who are worst enemies that team up for whatever reason to take down this man trying to save his family, fo. So at the end of the day, Blackbeard is an orphan with a dead mom and dead dad because Rogers and Gart killed his parents, and like Rogers, what was your reason? Because we see from the end of the movie Red movie or whatever we synced it in. I forget what we synced it at when we synced that Shanks was found in that treasure chest as a baby. It at that time it seemed like whatever happened at God's Valley was over, and the Roger Pirates was definitely just going around looting shit and like let's see what we could take before we leave type shit when they came across that treasure chest. So what happened that the fight with Rocks was so important that you had to team up with Garp to get this man killed while he was trying to save his family? Was you offered money? Was you bribed? We got to figure out what's going on. Cause like, no, I ain't gonna lie. I've been really feeling Rocks throughout this flashback. You feel me? I don't see him as a bad person at all. You feel me? If you know, if like finding out that he comes from God's Valley and which means he most likely know things about the voice. And he comes from God's Valley and is a member of a D clan that has been keeping themselves in secrecy this whole time, which means they most likely still have knowledge that everybody else don't have. And with that information and that knowledge, me knowing that's most likely now why he had the ambition he had to take down the world government and all those other things, and he was a rebel to the system in the world that he was living in because he knew how it came about. I don't see him as a bad person. Okay, he was a pirate. Pirates rob, they loot, they do things but y'all call him a bad guy because on the flashback so far we see that they did a bunch of notorious crimes and stuff like that. But you feel me? As we see from the example they gave us, they was only robbing and looting places that was actually criminals themselves. That charity place they robbed wasn't a real charity place. They was criminals. And he was fucking with the government real heavy. But other than that, they was doing what pirates do, and we call him a bad guy. But when Rogers say pirates pirates don't quit. We plunder and we don't stop until or plunder. We keep going until the goal is achieved or whatever the fuck they time out. So whatever the fuck they want, they gonna take it. They not gonna stop. But we don't call Rogers a bad guy. We look at him like a good guy, or AKA the traditional pirate that's in this pirate story. That's what Rocks was. You feel me? And like I said, he was most similar to Luffy than anything. He's more like he's really most similar to Luffy and Rogers than he is to Blackbeard in that nature because he's not sinister like Blackbeard is. Rocks is just more serious than what Luffy is all the time, but than what Luffy and Rogers is all the time. And he's smarter than both of them. Rogers became what Rocks was more like Rocks later on once he found out and got the knowledge and the information about the world. You feel me? He became more like Rocks. But back then, at the time, Rogers seemed more like Luffy because there's still differences between Rogers and Luffy too. You feel me? But we gonna wrap that up for tonight. You feel me? That's my theories for what's going on. Um, like I said, whatever happened with Rogers, because you looking like a op right now, we gotta find out why you end up taking that man down when he's there for the reasons that he's there for. But I still say doing that interaction with them when they do fight and we see that final fight between them, that's when Rox is gonna be speaking to Rogers as they're clashing and saying things that's gonna spark Rogers' interest in actually seeking the knowledge. You feel me? Because right now Rogers is just everywhere doing what the fuck he want to do. He just trying to, you feel me? He just being a traditional pirating. You feel me? On phone now. His biggest ambition right now is Shocky. So it's after this that he gon' you feel me, really pick that up. But we signing out for today. We gonna get this uploaded and yeah, for sure. Can't wait for the chapter this weekend. I'll see y'all then.